Hey, what's going on, guys? I hope you guys are having a good day. I decided to check in and say hello real quick. We just finished running our 8 miles, and it took us a lot longer than we thought it would because we were out running and getting ready for this marathon, and I am really kind of tripping right now over the fact that I'm going to have to run that many miles at one time. I'm a little nervous about it. Anyway, hit the thumbs up button as you come in. Please hit the thumbs up button, share, and subscribe button. I see you guys on Instagram. What's going on? Instagram is the real Boyce Watkins. Hey, Julio and Peace and Ammo. What's going on? All right, so let me tell you guys something. I was asking myself this question today as I was running the marathon with Dr. Alicia, and that's my bride to be. You guys may know her. Actually, if you go to boyceandalicia.com, you can actually follow some of the corny stuff that we post on the internet. Just be prepared. Be prepared for the ultimate in corniness. Like we're very comfortable with who we are. So you got to find somebody you love enough that you can be corny with them. Anyway, so we were running, and I asked her. I said, "Do you think that that judge in the Amber Guyger case would have hugged Amber Guyger if her name was Tyrone Guyger?" I'd be curious. Give me a yes or no. Yes or no. Do you think that the judge would have given a hug to Amber Guyger if she had been a black man? Okay, Manolo says hell no. Yes or no? Give me yes. Okay, I see nope from Ryan. Angelique says nope. You seen that coon shit the judge did? Yes, I did. Okay, I see hell no from Miss Balance. Julio, no. Let's see here. Okay, John is asking about stocks earnings per share. Go to theblackfinancialchannel.com, theblackfinancialchannel.com. I do financial commentary there all day long. So you can go there, or you can go to theblackbusinessschool.com. That's where we do business stuff all the time. Yes, due to the fact that they work together. Okay, Ernesto says yes. Most of you are saying no. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull up. I did a poll to see what black people believe. You guys know I'm a statistician. My master's degree is actually in mathematical statistics. And what I did was I ran a poll on Your Black World, which is pretty majority black, yourblackworldtv.com. And I asked them, I said, do you believe the family of Botham Jean would have been so quick to forgive if he had been shot by a black man? Okay, sorry. And I said, would the judge have given him a Bible and a hug? Right. So I think it's kind of a bad question, actually. I should have probably broken it into pieces, but it doesn't matter. I think it's a matter of just kind of asking both things together. And 82% of you said no, they would not forgive a black man. So the majority of the respondents seem to feel that if if Amber Guyger had been a black man, they wouldn't have been rushing to forgive him, and they wouldn't have the judge wouldn't have been, giving him like free Bibles and cupcakes and ho-hos and hugs and kisses and all that shit. Also on my channel on drboycetv.com, I surveyed you guys there. 80% of you said no. They believe if he were a black man, the judge would not have been giving him hugs, and the family would not be forgiving so quick. Yeah, you're right. Peace and Ammo says Michael Vick still not forgiven. I agree. They gave that white cop a steak dinner practically. I don't know anything about that. Let's see here. I live in Texas, and a guy just got 8 for murder on the same day in Bell County, Texas. Well, that's a different county, and I think different cities have different, judges and justice systems. So it's kind of hard to compare one county to the next, one state to the next, right? So those comparisons don't always do it for me. But at the same time, if you're asking me if I believe that, statistically speaking, black people get worse sentences for the same crimes. I mean, that's been well established. That's been true in all kinds of, in all kinds of studies. Let me see. Just Cali says Boyce keeps bragging about Alicia like it's his first girlfriend in his life. Yeah, well, when you meet a woman that you want as your wife, it is like having your first girlfriend. Because I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna just be honest with you. I've met a lot of women that I could have dated. When you get kind of famous, and you have money and stuff, like women are kind of always around. Let's just say that. And but she's very special. So yeah, I'm very proud of her. And you want to when you pick a woman or pick a man, you want somebody that's proud of you. You don't want somebody that's like ashamed of you and always telling you that you ain't shit, and and act like they're embarrassed to be around you. You want somebody that's proud of you, that tells you, great things about yourself, and then you want to tell them great things about themselves, right? You're not going to usually get the best out of people by being mean to them. Don't be an asshole. That's my advice on relationships. Don't be an asshole. Royal J says you're not famous. I agree. I don't think I'm famous, but I do know when I walk down the street in New York City, I'll usually get stopped several times by people on the street. So I don't know if that means famous or not. I don't really care. But I know people do know who I am in certain places, and it is what it is. Dr. Alicia's more beautiful in person. Yeah, she actually is. When you come to New York City again, I'll be in New York City October 27th. I'm hosting an investment summit. The price is not cheap, but it's a worthy investment if you're interested in being around other like-minded people that really want to invest. So feel free to come out. You can go to drboycenewyork.com if you want to check it out. drboycenewyork.com. Okay, and this reminded me when I'm in New York, I don't know. I'll see if Charlemagne wants me on the Breakfast Club again. Since me and Angela Rye ain't the best of buddies, I don't know if that if that makes me kind of an outsider now. I have no idea, but Angela Rye can kiss my black ass. I don't care about that. But I do know that he's inviting Dr. Claude Anderson on, and I just asked him again to reconfirm, and he just sent me a text back saying yes. And it's more important that Dr. Anderson gets on the Breakfast Club than me. I've already been on there about 3 or 4 times or something. So me going on there again is not that big of a deal. But if Dr. Anderson is exposed in a mainstream public way, that could really change the trajectory of the entire Black community, because his ideas make sense, and that's what people need to learn. Angela Rye is the Candace Owens of the left. Yeah, I agree. I think a debate between Angela Rye and Candace Owens will be well made for TV. I bet you $20 that Amber Guyger gets out of jail before Bill Cosby. Super Omega, you might be right. You might be right. I mean, I think it's quite possible. I think that there is cronyism happening between the judge, the police chief, who's also a Delta. They're both Black women. And also just the police department itself. Remember, Amber Guyger is a former cop. The police chief and the judge were all buddied up in one of their campaign pictures. And they're both in the same sorority. So, I just kind of feel like they were like, it's a fellow cop, so let's take care of her, that kind of thing. It is what it is. I mean, cops are like the worst street gang ever. Like, you think, the Bloods and Tekashi 6ix9ine and all that stuff's not, don't snitch stuff is a big deal. Cops get killed for snitching on other cops. And the cops really will kill you. Like, they're not like, fake gangbangers who'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna kill you, but then nobody does anything. No, they will actually kill you. Like, they are not afraid to use their guns. So it is what it is. Nobody gave Cosby a hug. I agree. If Cosby comes out, I would love to bring him on the podcast, man. That would be awesome. Like, I would love to have Cosby on to just thank him for what he's doing for those Black men in jail. I think he's really great for them. Thank you. Dope shirt. I appreciate that. Yeah, you can actually we have a t-shirt site, wokeblacktees.com. If you go to wokeblacktees.com. Did they hug Botham Jean's mother? I don't know. The judge is a disgrace. Does she hug every killer like that? No, I don't think she's ever done it before. Christopher says all cops. That's BS, bro. I don't know what you mean by all cops. I don't know what that means. I don't think all cops are bad. I don't think all cops are good. I think all cops are just individuals, but they're all part of a corrupt system. That's the problem. Please bring him on. Yeah, I would love to bring Cosby on. So if you know Cosby or know somebody who knows him, feel free to let him know that the door's open. Because I don't have no ill will toward Cosby. Like, I think Cosby's like, he's an old grandfather who has views that are, maybe that his viewpoints were tailored in the 1950s and 1960s, but he is somebody that we need to hear from, because he's got a perspective that can help us find the truth and find the light in a world that has left Black people very confused. Y'all don't know up from down. Y'all, their brainwashing stuff is real deep on y'all, and you don't know who you are. You don't know how great you're supposed to be. You don't even want to pick up books and read anymore, And so I think that Cosby's from a time where Black people have more pride in themselves, from how we dress, how we addressed each other, how we ran our communities. And I want to try to recreate some of that. So like Trump wants to make America great again. I want to make Black people great again. I believe we can do that. I believe we can. I think that, in fact, it's happening. It's happening. If you come to the All Black National Convention, you'll walk away feeling connected, because that's what it was. I mean, people got together, they were starting businesses. They were, like one of the groups that performed the Royal Mix, they just actually released one of their latest songs today. They actually formed their group at the last convention, and now they got an endorsement deal with the Jordan brand. They're doing big things out in Philadelphia. Like real things are happening at these conventions. It's not just a bunch of BS. He was definitely on point when he brought it to Black parents in the 90s. Yeah. Well, the problem for Cosby though is that Cosby never actually challenged white supremacy though. He was kind of like, well, screw white people. This is what you need to do as Black people. But you can't solve the race equation in a vacuum. You have to be willing to stand up to white people just like you'll stand up to Black people. You can't just, shit all over Black people and yell at Black people and then say nothing when the white man walks in the room and act like everything he's done is perfect. That doesn't make any sense, So I think that's one of Cosby's mistakes, is he did not challenge white supremacy. And it's the very same white supremacy that brought him down. So I admire the man, but he is not a man who did not make grave mistakes. How can you challenge without the wealth? Well, you got 1.3 trillion in spending power in your community. So there's a lot that you can do with that. Just Callie, what happened to you and Dame Dash's friendship? I politely and humbly will say to you, none of your damn business, because I don't do that. I stay on code. If I have friends and we're not so close anymore, I don't go around bitching and yapping and all this other stuff. So me and Dame, do we work together like we used to? No, we don't. I mean, that's kind of clear to see. But I wish him nothing but the best, and I think Damon is a cool dude and a smart guy. Money and violence is the only thing they understand. Yep. Make Black America read again. That's funny. Super Omega, that's funny. Channel of choice. Spending power is not producing power. I agree. Yeah, spending power is not power at all. It's not power at all. Stay on code, brother. Yeah, that's what I want to do. I don't believe in I don't know. I just think it's kind of weird when people when you're really close with somebody and then you go and you're blasting that person that you used to be really close to. It kind of makes you look really bad. It makes you look as bad as the person that you're blasting. So you have to kind of think about that, and what that kind of means. Sometimes you have business deals and it just doesn't work out and you got to just move on, and that's what it is. Why do you choose not to live in a Black neighborhood? Actually, I do have property in a Black neighborhood. I have more than one place that I live. Let's see here. We must come together as a group, but it's too many Sambos amongst us. Absolutely. Bottom families not from the States, so their views are different. That is so true. How much are the Black Enough shirts? The Black Enough shirts, I believe, if you go to drboycebooks.com and just search for shirts, you can find the shirts there. I got to double check to see if they still got shirts in the store. I know at wokeblacktees.com we've got shirts, woke black TEES. So feel free to go check that out. The difference between mutual funds versus index funds. Well, index funds are mutual funds typically tend to be more actively managed, but a mutual fund can be an index fund. An index fund just follows along with an index. I have a stock market class if you're interested. You can go to theblackstockmarketprogram.com, THE. That's theblackstockmarketprogram.com. There's a whole lot of stuff there. What am I drinking? This is Gatorade. Please hit the thumbs up button. In my experience as an immigrant, Black Americans are vicious to other Black people, but nice to white people. Gross. Oh, interesting. You're an immigrant? Where are you from? What country? Boyce, how do I get a Fly Nubian King channel? Just go search for Fly Nubian King. There's already a Fly Nubian King channel, flynubianking.com. So if you like content that's made for Black men, you can go to flynubianking.com. So there's flynubianqueen.com and flynubianking.com. They are out there and they do have content on them. You got any leads on what Black stocks will rise in 2020? No, because there ain't that many. There's not that many Black-owned companies that are publicly traded, to be honest with you. I don't get notifications when you're live. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Take 1 second right now, hit the notification bell, and then you'll be notified when I go live. Also, twice a week, I'll send out a text to let you know when I'm live. Like today when I had Dr. Claude Anderson, I sent out a text. So if you text the word Boyce to 31996, text Boyce to 31996, and you can actually, I can text you when something big is happening. Let's see here. Boyce is drinking that blue Star Wars milk from The Last Jedi. Is investing in Acorn Robinhood a good idea? I use them both. I like them. Christopher Phillips says Cosby is wrong. He raped women in Hollywood for years and everyone knew it. He was never a down to earth person. He was pretty stuck up. He should not be a sympathetic figure. Sorry. Well, you make a good point. You make a good point. That was not a perfect man. He is not a perfect man. But, being imperfect does not mean that you're not capable of doing something good in the world. So my perception on Cosby, depending on how you look at him, is either he's a good person who did some bad things, or he's a bad person who did some good things. So it's up to you to decide how you feel about Cosby. Can you start doing a weekly analysis on one public company? Every now and then, I don't want to necessarily schedule it like that, but if you go to theblackfinancialchannel.com, I'll do that. Every now and then I'll read about a company and it'll get my attention, and I'll do an analysis. Like I analyzed Weight Watchers stock, and I actually took people through the process when I bought it, why I bought it, what happened. I made a killing on it too. Because what happened was Weight Watchers missed their earnings announcement and their price plummeted. And I felt that because Oprah is associated with Weight Watchers, that she was going to get directly involved. And I remember how Oprah got really pumped up about, the OWN network, which started off very poorly, and then she really pushed to make it better. So I feel like Oprah doesn't like to fail. So I felt like Oprah was going to be directly involved to the point where she could boost up their revenue, and that's what happened. Like she came in and they started making more money, and the stock price went. So it was great. I was like, shit. I was happy. I sold it though. I didn't keep it. I don't know how much Weight Watchers I own now. Let's see here. Is Botham Jean's family Haitian? I don't think so. I think they're from St. Lucia. They killed Enos Cosby. I agree. I think that they did. What is a good African company to buy stock in? I have no idea. If you know of one, please feel free to email manager@boycewatkins.com. Do you think it's better to have a PhD in finance or a prestigious MBA? Depends on what you want to do. A PhD in finance is really, really hard to get. If you get a real PhD in finance, a lot of people have fake PhDs, but the problem is a fake PhD. It's like Monopoly money. Like Monopoly money is cool if you just want to throw money in the air and like a rapper and pretend like you have money. But if you really actually try to go spend it, then they're going to call you on the fact that your money's fake. So, a fake PhD, and a lot of people have them. There's a lot of people who call themselves Doctor this and Doctor that. And me and people like Julianne Malveaux, who went through hell, like Alicia has a real PhD where she went through hell to get hers. Julianne Malveaux went to MIT. Dr. Randall Pinkett, who came in, who was on The Apprentice, he has a real PhD in computer science from MIT. People like us, we kind of chuckle when people come along and we know that their PhD is not real, but we don't say anything. What happens though is like, I know that with Dr. Malveaux, and I know with myself, like, when you have a real PhD, you can actually go get a job teaching at a major university. If you have a fake PhD, then the real PhDs don't respect you. It's almost like, the difference between really pledging a sorority or fraternity versus people who just, like our paper versions of that, you know what I mean? So basically I don't say anything because I'm not into competition or hating on anybody, but a PhD, a real PhD in finance is very hard to get. And I wouldn't do it unless I was just dying to go teach at a university. And I think a prestigious MBA is good, I guess, if you want to go and get a corporate job and, make enough money to pay back all that debt that you're going to have, because the MBAs are really expensive. So I'd rather just learn business. Like I kind of feel like with Black people, if I was starting all over again, I would try my best to get off the grid and not even be a part of that man's system. Like, just start a business, learn how to sell a product and figure it all out, read some books, like my brother gave himself an MBA by basically reading tons of books. He had an MBA before he went to go get one. He got one from Cornell, but this man had, stacks of books on his dresser drawer on sales and marketing and finance and everything. And he just read all these books. And then he just knew all this stuff, and that's what it is. It's about what you put in your brain. You don't need to go spend $40,000, $50,000 a year to learn. You don't have to do that. Jay Morrison is off code. He should just sit next to Candace Owens. I haven't seen anything. I mean, I don't follow Jay closely. So, I don't, he's my friend, but I don't claim to know every single thing that's going on with him. I know that there's a lot of people that are mad at him for some reason. I don't get it because I'm not mad at him. But at the same time, I don't know what's happening with everybody else because I try to just focus on doing my best to help out and not worry about what every single other person is doing. Boyce, is it possible that Black people can contribute through taxes to help build better neighborhoods and businesses? Says Tone. Contribute through taxes. I don't know what you mean by contribute through taxes. I mean, we pay taxes, right? But we don't always get a return on that investment. Cotton Patch, great advice. Don't get an education from the masters. Give me a break. Yeah. Kevin Lee, coming in no money in the Black community was why we don't have a foundation. Sold out for the money. Okay. Let's see here. Channel of choice, Don. I don't think he did anything different than any rich man does to women. Oh, you're talking about Cosby. Yeah, well, remember, Hollywood is a pretty debaucherous place. Like, there's a lot of really crazy stuff happening in Hollywood. They got, you know, here's how Hollywood works. A couple ways it works. Number one, they have a lot of child molesters in Hollywood. They do a lot of pedophilia and a lot of sexual deviance, like, threesomes or foursomes with like two dudes, a midget, and a horse. Like they literally will do like some really weird stuff that regular people don't do. They have big parties with naked children walking around. Like they have a big pedophilia issue that they don't talk about. Lots of drugs, and I think the drugs are what open people up to weird shit. Like, anybody remember when Richard Pryor said that he experimented living with a man for 3 weeks until he realized he didn't like it, and then he went back to women again? Anybody remember that? How many of y'all thought that was like the weirdest shit you've ever heard in your life? I mean, is that normal? That ain't normal where I come from. That's not what regular people do. That's purely some Hollywood stuff. And if you know the history of Hollywood, if you know the history and where it came from and the culture of those who, were part of that foundation, you'll know that there are a lot of there's a lot of weird deviant behavior out there, And so here's another thing that happens in Hollywood. I think Harvey Weinstein, people like that are, they're creeps. What they do is not right, especially if you rape somebody. I mean, obviously you can't justify that. But the thing is, if you go out to LA and people think you have power, because I've been in that position where I was making a movie. We made a couple movies in LA. There are women that will, propose to you, like, hey, if you hook me up, I'll hook you up, and I don't think it's always like scandalous. It's just two grown people deciding like, hey, what I got to do to cut to the front of the line. Think about this. I mean, women are independent creatures like men. Women are strong. Women are smart, right? That's what we're always taught. So women ain't always the victims in all these situations. A lot of your favorite household names, Hollywood stars, they got there by using what God gave them and being like, hey, you want a piece of this? You hook me up, you can have all you want, right? And I've had that kind of thing offered, to me before. The stuff about the pedophiles, of course I would never want to. That would just make me puke if anybody was trying to mess with a child or whatever. But it's just like, LA is a weird place. So I think with Cosby, what was probably going on, I believe, is that a lot of people were cool with him until the money stopped coming. That's all it is. It's always about the money. It's almost always about the money, because if it was really about justice, people would have been filing police reports and all that. They wasn't pissed at him until he stopped writing checks, right? And I think, honestly, the R. Kelly thing's the same way. I think that there were people who sold their daughters to R. Kelly. I mean, why would you take your daughter to an R. Kelly concert when she's a teenager and put her up on stage with R. Kelly and then send her with R. Kelly to be alone in the studio, knowing his reputation? It doesn't make R. Kelly innocent though, right? R. Kelly had no business touching young girls, right? So let's be clear about that. Like, it's up to you as the adult to not participate in that, especially men. Like, just don't do it, because it'll, it's going to backfire on you. But still, those little girls had more than one pimp, and it wasn't just R. Kelly. It was, a lot of times it was their parents, because a lot of people, you ain't go. I got girls in my house, they won't be in R. Kelly's studio. We won't be delivering them to R. Kelly ever. So I don't know if anybody else feels the same way, but like those things that they think can happen to anybody's child, that can't happen to anybody's child. You got to have an agenda before that can happen to your child. 9 times out of 10. Are you following the Byron Allen case with Comcast? Yes, I am. Byron Allen, I think he's cool. I think Byron's good. I wish him the best. How do we get on board with Dr. Claude Anderson's reparations lawsuit? I don't know. I think just financial support is really helpful. Like go to powernomics.com, buy some of his books, buy them for your kids, like Christmas gifts, stuff like that. I think that would really help their family a lot because they fight a lot for Black people, and Black people don't always support. Black people sit back and watch you burn alive and be like, well, thank you for your help. I learned so much from you and won't do anything for it, but will give all their money to white people. And so what I just say is, the same way you tie the church, tie it to your community. Like find somebody you believe in, something you love, and support it. Like even when I'm out in the street and people come up to me and they offer me free T-shirts or whatever, like whatever they're selling. If I have money, I will buy it from you. I will buy your stuff from you. At worst, I might let you give me a hookup. Like if you want to give me, like I'll be like, I got $20 left, and what can I get for 20? Can I get the shirt for 20? I'll be like, well, it's normally 30. I'll be like, well, I got $20, but you can have it, right? But I try to give something because I don't want you to just give me all your stuff for free just because you admire me. Like if I really admire you and I really care about you, I should want to support you. I don't want to see you broke. I don't want to see you bankrupt. I bought your book, Cash Channel Choice. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. My books are at drboycebooks.com if you guys want to go check it out. drboycebooks.com. If Byron Allen wins, that will open the door for reparations because he's using the 1866 Indian Treaty. Really? I didn't know that. What is the date of the convention in New York again? Just tuning in, October 27th, drboycenewyork.com. So it's an investment summit. So it's all about investing, all about you're going to allow you guys to do an elevator pitch competition. There's a lot of different ticket levels you can use to come in, and you will love it. Everybody loves it. It's always really good. Can you write a Black wealth book? I'm writing a book about economic codes of conduct for families, so that if you want to build a strong family empire, I believe that there should be rules and codes of conduct because every organization needs to have codes of conduct to survive. Like in the Amber Guyger case, you had codes of conduct among the police. You have codes of conduct among the Delta Sigma Thetas, right? You have codes of conduct among the Crips and the Bloods. You got codes of conduct in any corporation. You got codes of conduct in your church. You got codes of conduct in any community. You have codes of conduct in international treaties. You have to have codes of conduct in order for you to build it, anything, right? So in a lot of our families, we don't have codes of conduct. Like, for example, it's bullshit if you got a relative who will borrow money from you and never pay you back and act like they never had your money in the first place. Anybody ever have somebody like that? That's fucked up. Like you don't do that. If you love somebody, you don't take their last few dollars and then never pay it back. Like that's just terrible. Like what's wrong with you? You're off code. You're crippling a loved one. Like no, you come back and you say, hey, I can't pay you now. I'll pay you later. I apologize. Whatever. You're violating and you're breaching the trust that you have with that person. And you can't build institutions, you can't build economies if you don't have trust. So people need to be able to trust you. They need to be able to trust that if you say you're going to be there at 9 o'clock, you're going to be there at 8:55. They need to trust if you say, I'm going to give you $50 on Tuesday, you give them $50 on Monday. They need to trust that if you say, I'm going to come through for you, that you're going to come through, or you're going to have a good reason why you couldn't come through, but you tried, right? People that walk away and just don't uphold their responsibility, it's just tacky. It's absolutely tacky. Let's see here. I know you get this all the time, but I really need you to check something out. Plex 504. Email it to manager@boycewatkins.com. My manager gets all of my stuff. I wish I could look at the email. The fatigue look on my face is a reflection of how I feel on the inside because I am in a constant state of mental and physical exhaustion. I just ran 8 miles and we're trying to run this marathon, and it's like I'm just tired, man. I wish I could promise you that I would do more, but I'm just exhausted. Let's see here. Davis, that's like taking life from someone's dream. That makes me feel bad and disguise. Okay, I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. I wish I could understand what you meant there. I apologize. Dangote is a good African stock. Okay. He's planning, that's the billionaire, right? He's planning to list in London, not sure about America. Okay. Byron Allen is defending the 1866 civil rights law, demanding that freedmen be included in the business of contracts. Interesting. Let's see. Teresa says it's live. Yes, it is. Do you think our people can work together again as a group? Says K. Wims. Yes. It's already happening. There are already people doing that. Come up north to Canada. We will. At some point, we will. Let's see here. Silky, it's there, your eye. Okay. See, y'all be talking. Sometimes I don't know what y'all talking about. I can't follow that. Um, yeah. Okay, all right. So repeat that African stock, Dangote. I think Dangote is the name of a billionaire, right, in Nigeria or something like that. Yeah, I've heard of that name. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go to bed. So hit the thumbs up button, please. Hit the thumbs up button. Hit the share, subscribe button. And also, All Black National Convention should be in DC. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. We've done stuff in DC and Baltimore. So have a good night. Please hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when I go live again. Sometimes I go live in the middle of the night because we got people overseas, and for them it's like morning or afternoon. And looking good. Oh, thank you very much, Regina. I appreciate that. Yeah, all that running. Oof, you want to wear out some pounds, just go out and go on these long runs. But it's really fun. It gives me and Alicia a lot of time to talk. We do all our, talk about the wedding, and she's a therapist, so she likes to know my feelings, and she likes to process everything. And sometimes she'll be like, so how was your day, Boyce? I'll be like, it was fine. Boyce, that's not enough. Tell me more. It was fine. I enjoyed it. Well, what does that mean? What do you mean it's just fine, right? Like she likes to process stuff, like therapists do that. And I'm like, there ain't nothing to process. I'm okay. I'm all right. But after running together for 3, 4, 5 hours at a time, you believe me, you cover a little bit of everything. And so I'm learning a lot about life and relationships and patience. I think relationships, stuff like that, they teach you a lot of patience. Kids teach you a lot about patience too. Does running lower the dependence on Viagra? I don't need Viagra, but it does actually help you in terms, like if you're fighting depression, running does help you fight depression. It releases natural endorphins and you just feel better. Everything works better. Everything works better when you exercise and drink a lot of water and don't eat a lot of bullshit. Like, sometimes you might eat a little bit of, whatever, like I do that, and I try to eat less of that. But like one thing I could say that has really helped a lot is like constantly drinking water and working out. Like you just literally everything in you work. Your mind's clearer, your body's better, you feel better. So, and just get plenty of sleep. So plenty of sleep, plenty of water, and at least a little bit of exercise. Just get out and walk, and trot a little bit, and then walk a little bit, jog a little bit. Even if you're overweight, like I was on my way to obesity, but even just getting out there and just running a little bit made a big difference for me. What running shoes I wear? I wear these shoes called hookahs. Hookahs are supposedly like super good, and they have a big with a padding, lots of padding on the bottom. Yes, tough changing. I agree. I'm so addicted to sugar. I love like my Twizzlers and ice cream and all of that. And I still eat it sometimes, try not to do it, but it is what it is. Okay. When did you start doing videos? 2 in the morning? I don't know. I just talk whenever I feel like it. That's what it is. What you see is what you get with me. That's but yeah. I saw somebody say you wear her love well. Yeah. I like it. I feel, it makes me feel really good as a Black man to be able to like openly say to a lot of people, like, I love this Black woman. Like I got this beautiful Black woman. She's the woman of my dreams, and I love her, the shit out of her. She loves the shit out of me. And what better thing can I do with my platform than to express just an insatiable, unbelievable excitement about loving a Black woman. Like literally, it's like roller coaster levels of enthusiasm about the honor of being with an amazing Black woman. Like to me, that is like, it makes me very, like, I'm not pretending to be happy. Like I'm really that happy. And I really feel strongly about that because I just feel so bad because there's so many people that give Black women such a bad rap, and I'm gonna tell you the truth. I ran into some real shitty Black women. I ran into some women that really tested me, like in terms of really betrayed. Everybody goes through it. If you love, you get your feelings hurt, you get betrayed, bad things happen. But I never gave up, and I would say most of the time when I've been betrayed or harmed by a Black woman, emotionally or otherwise, I look back on it, and when I'm objective about it, I can see where that comes from. It comes from trauma. A lot of our people have trauma when we're young. And so I'll see somebody who's acting an ass, who's trying to really do something horrible to me, but I'll look at them and there's another side of my brain that actually has a degree of sympathy for them. Because, like I believe sometimes, for example, if a woman really hates a man, a lot of times it's really a transference. She really hates her father. And every man in a certain position triggers her and reminds her how much she hates her father, right? And so I try to just deal with that, like without putting myself in bad situations. Like I wasn't like when I see that kind of chaos, I was always very, very careful, but I tried to be patient with it, and try not to add to the trauma by taking my trauma and then, sort of responding in a nasty or abusive way or becoming an abusive person. Instead, I saw it almost like Black-owned businesses, right? Black-owned businesses are usually not always as professionally sound as white businesses. Let's just be real. Black people we're still getting used to this whole, business thing. And so if you run into a Black-owned business that gives you bad service or overcharges you, you don't have to go to that business anymore, but you can go find another Black-owned business that has figured a few things out, right? Or you can go to that business that you decided not to go to anymore, and you could say, I'm not going to shop here anymore, but I just want to, in a loving way, tell you why I'm not coming back and what I think you all need to do. And you can receive it, or you can get mad at me, but I'm going to fill out this customer survey and just help you guys out, help you out, right? And so in a way, I really think dating in the Black community is like shopping at Black-owned businesses. You get some businesses that are really fucked up, and you run into some really bad people that do bad things, but that does not mean you have to be a bad person, because there are good people out there, And so the reason I love bragging about that Black woman is because she is a really good person. She doesn't just pretend to be a good person. She really is a good person. And I'm very proud of her, in a lot of ways. Let me see. I see a question. Callie, Callie, stop. All real Black men know the truth. Okay, I don't know. Looks like y'all started having. Let's see. Christy Love, Dr. Watkins, how can we get together to get Dr. Anderson's books into the prisons? Black men need all the enlightenment they can get. I don't know. I couldn't even visit a prison. I tried to visit this guy named Mario Lloyd out of Chicago, who got 30 years. He got 14 life sentences with no parole. He was a dope dealer back in the 80s, and he's been locked up since like 1988 or 89. And I wanted to go visit him, to talk about how we could help him get out. And it took a year and a half before the prison would even approve me to come to the prison, because they didn't want somebody like me talking to prison inmates, because they want, they don't want the slaves to be too enlightened or intelligent, or they don't want them to be riled up. Black people who off code need Pootie Tang. His belt, yeah, I agree. Krispy Kreme glazed donuts is just, oh my good. Okay, now y'all talking crazy. I'm going to bed. Talking about Krispy Kreme donuts. All right, guys. Well, I don't call them slaves, but they are slaves technically, because if you read the 13th Amendment, the 13th Amendment does say that you are a slave. You can be made into a slave if you are convicted of a felony. So they really are slaves. Are you going to answer my question? Boyce Watkins, says Dave Kramer. Yes, I'm going to answer your question. So there you go. Your question has been answered. Are you going to answer my question? That was your question. The answer is yes. All right. I'm out of here, guys. See, don't ask me if I'm going to answer the question. Just ask the question. You got to ask the question, right? So you just ask the question because you asked me if I was going to answer the question. I just answered the question. Y'all get it? Anyway, ask a little bit later, Dave. I'm about to get out of here. So you guys have a good night. Hit the thumbs up button before you go. Also, if you want to learn more about, business and all that stuff, feel free to go to theblackbusinessschool.com. THE, that's theblackbusinessschool.com. I'm out of here, guys. Have a good day. I'll see you soon. Peace.